In a distant galaxy, far beyond the reaches of human exploration, an alien named Zarnak watched Earth through his ship's observation window. Zarnak had seen many species across the universe, and in his mind, humans were weak, fragile creatures who depended too much on technology. They were no match for the might of his people, the Vrixians. With their advanced strength, intelligence, and superior technology, the Vrixians had conquered worlds without a second thought. So Zarnak had heard whispers of a human girl, no less, who had been the talk of the Vrixian military. She was said to be weak, sickly even, someone who could barely stand up for herself. A pathetic example of humanity, so Zarnak had thought. What could one weak human possibly do against a race like mine? He made it his mission to meet her, to see firsthand the weakness the others spoke of. He landed his ship quietly on the outskirts of a small human town, keeping his presence secret. He could sense the girl was nearby, sitting alone under a large tree. She was exactly what he expected, a fragile creature, lost in her own thoughts, her long, dark hair falling across her face, her frail body barely noticeable under the soft glow of the sun. Zarnak smiled to himself, the alien's version of a grin stretching across his cold face. He stepped closer, unseen by her, and made a noise that startled her. The girl jumped and turned, her wide eyes locking onto him. Zarnak could see the fear instantly. It was clear. This girl had no chance against him, but then something unexpected happened. Instead of screaming, the girl stood up slowly. She didn't flee, didn't cower. Instead, she held her ground. Zarnak couldn't believe it. Humans were supposed to be weak, easy to intimidate. But this one didn't show fear like the others. She stood straight, her voice barely a whisper. "You are very tall," she said, gazing up at him. There was no panic in her voice, just a quiet, calm observation. Zarnak let out a harsh laugh, his alien voice sounding like a growl. "You think I'm tall, little human? I could crush you with a single strike." The girl blinked at him and then smiled. An innocent, almost pitying smile. "That's what you think," she said softly. Zarnak chuckled again, a deep, mocking sound. "You humans are so easily frightened. Your world is nothing compared to mine." For a moment, the girl looked away, as if contemplating something. Then, with a courage that surprised Zarnak, she stepped forward. "You're wrong," she said firmly. "Humanity isn't weak. We're strong in ways you can't even understand. You think you're powerful because of your technology, your size, your strength. But we have something you don't." Zarnak frowned. What could you possibly have that could compare to the power of the Vrixians? The girl tilted her head slightly. "We have the will to fight, to survive, and to protect what we love. We have something deeper than strength. We have heart." Zarnak scoffed. "Heart? How laughable. You dare stand there and lecture me about something so foolish?" The girl's expression grew serious. "It's not foolish," she said. "It's the reason you're going to regret underestimating me." Zarnak's confidence faltered for a moment. What could she mean by that? He was a Vrixian warrior, the strongest among his people. Yet here stood this fragile human, speaking as if she could teach him a lesson. He couldn't understand it, but there was something about her, a fire, a determination that unsettled him. Before Zarnak could respond, the girl's eyes flashed with a sudden energy. Without warning, she lunged forward, faster than he thought possible for someone so weak-looking. She didn't attack him physically, but she did something unexpected. She reached into a small pouch at her side and pulled out a device. In a blink, the device emitted a powerful burst of light, aimed directly at Zarnak's chest. The alien staggered back, the force of the blast sending a shockwave through his body. His armor, designed to withstand even the most brutal of attacks, cracked and groaned under the pressure. Zarnak gasped, feeling his strength momentarily drained. He looked at the girl, who was now standing calmly, her hand still extended, as if she had just pressed a button. Zarnak's mind raced. He had underestimated her. The girl had used a weapon, a simple one, but deadly in the hands of someone who knew how to use it. You have technology," Zarnak muttered in disbelief. "How?" "I told you," the girl replied, her voice steady. "We don't rely on brute strength alone. We adapt, we fight back, and we do it with everything we've got." Zarnak gritted his teeth. The pain in his chest was subsiding, but the shock of being bested by such a seemingly weak human left him fuming. He could feel his anger rising, but there was something else too: respect. He had always believed that only strength mattered, but this girl had proven him wrong. She had shown him that true strength came from something deeper. Why? Zarnak asked, his voice now quieter. Why would you fight me? I could destroy your world without a second thought. The girl didn't answer right away. Instead, she walked toward him, her eyes never leaving his. Because we protect our own, we fight for each other. And no matter how strong you are, you'll never take that away from us. Zarnak stared at her for a long moment. He had expected her to fear him, to beg for mercy. Instead, she had stood up to him, and in doing so, had taught him a valuable lesson. He was not the most powerful being in the universe, not by a long shot. It wasn't size or strength that made a species powerful. It was their heart, their will to survive. Zarnak's smirk faded, replaced by a rare look of humility. I have underestimated you, human, he said, lowering his head slightly. The girl smiled, not with arrogance, but with quiet confidence. It's okay. Most people do. And with that, Zarnak realized that the weak human girl he had once laughed at had taught him something that no Vrixian battle had ever been able to. She had shown him the true strength of humanity, and it was something he would never forget.